Okay. Okay, so hi to all the friends. You get now some technical issues, but it's all solved. I hope you can hear me well. Thank you for joining this Macrobiotic online forum, and a special thanks to Gina and her team for organizing such a lovely event where we can share and study and get inspired. My name is Jarka Becvarova Adamcova, and I'm the founder of the Tempura Foods. It's actually an online platform specialized for 100% plant-based products of the Japanese specialties and of the macrobiotic quality, located in Amsterdam, Netherlands. And I would like to welcome also shortly my husband, Karel. Just that we can say hello.
Hello, everybody.
So
hello, Karel.
Thank you.
I'm behind the camera today.
And will be my assistant, so that everything can come smooth. Today I'm going to show you how to make a tempura. But first, we start a little bit of what is tempura, the history, the benefits, and then afterwards we get our works or our hands-on done. So actually, tempura nowadays is the let's say typical Japanese dish, and what it means, and it's also a cooking style. And what it means is that you take the usually plant-based ingredients of the seafood, which is then battered and then deep fried in the oil. And even though now known as a Japanese dish, it actually dates from the 16th century, and it was, or that were the Portuguese, the missionaries who came to Japan, and then the Japanese, they made really an art of it and really brought it to the perfection. And when we also get the word tempura, it derives or comes from a Portuguese temporas. I hope if you have any Portuguese friends listening that my pronunciation is good, and or the Latin tempora. And that is connected actually to the times where there were actually the Christian holy days, and it was the season or period of a time when no meat was consumed. So therefore also the mostly the vegetables are used in this dish, but of course also the seafood. So so that's the, let's say, the meaning of what it is. And the benefits, we will be working with heated oil. And that temperature, when we look at it, it goes around 160, 180 degrees. So together, of course, you could say with the baking, this cooking style of making tempura is kind of making you more vitalizing, giving a heat to your body. From the macrobiotic terms, you would say more young form of the cooking. And so it is delicious, it brings the heat to your body. And of course, also, I would definitely recommend you to make it regularly when you have a cravings or you are crazy about the chips, about the cheese, and about the chocolate. Because of course, there is an oil involved, you know, 3 of them, and also the tempura, but then when properly made and together with the dipping sauce, which is actually also a part of that, and you shouldn't be missing it by serving this tempura dish. So then it's very good and very, how would I say, it helps to digest, of course, also the oil, etc. So let's now check actually what do we need when we are making a tempura. We will definitely need, of course, a fire. I have here more, you see here our wood kitchen stove, but then here this is more that you can see me. And we will need the frying pan. The pan is very good to have like more a cast iron, or which one has a thicker walls, and also, of course, thick bottom. Because why do you need it? Once the oil is heated, these thick walls of the pan that will help you to stabilize and keep the temperature, that it doesn't go up and down, because that's what you don't want. You want to have a crispy, crunchy tempura. So, and this pan you can get in the natural, in the normal stores for the housekeeping products, with the pots and pans. And otherwise, you can also sometimes look in IKEA. They have nice ones. It's for affordable price. And otherwise, for the profs, you can get the Le Creuset from France. But this one is fine. Huh? Then the next one that we will need an oil. Let me already, I will soon explain about the quality of oil. But in the meantime, I will already place it in. And we can start slowly to heat it up. So usually the layer which you would need in the pan is of course depending what you deep fry, but now we are making tempura, so it would be maybe like a 5 centimeter. So, okay. So what do we need back? We need a frying pan. We will need like a tempura sieve. I have here two kinds. One is with a bigger holes. This one is very fine. And you will need it, soon you will see it, for the cleaning of the oil, taking actually the tempura flakes, which will come from the batter, to clean up the oil, because once inside, of course, you are, it's a deep frying, it's a high temperature, and it's, of course, when it stays in it, it's burning, 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 and it's not anyway good to eat it. And secondly, it's kind of poisoning your oil, which is pity. And then this one is actually for the final cleaning up, to clean up really the oil, because then afterwards, when you finish the tempura, you just let the oil cool down, and then you can just cover it and keep it on the cool spot and using it, or just on the, like we have a pit, a stove, so normally it's here on this corner standing, and then it's quickly just to put it on the fire, make a tempura, deep fry some things what you need, and then put it off and keep it there. So when you take care good for your oil, you can keep it on to 10 to 12 times, and then it's actually finished, and you clean up the pot and you have a new oil. Then the next what we will need is, if you are handy with the chopsticks. I personally very much like to use the chopsticks to take the tempura out of the deep frying pan, because you can feel the crunchiness, the crispiness of the tempura. So it's handy to learn. And otherwise, of course, you can always use these metal thingies. And but of course, with this wood, with chopsticks, you have a better sense, better touch. We will also look how to measure the actually, or check the right temperature of the oil. You can either use the chopsticks, you will see in a minute, or if you don't have a chopstick, it's just this satay stick is very easy to use because it's dry wood. Next one, what we will need is, of course, when we take out the tempura out of the pan, either you can use this kind of a tray, it will be where the tempura is then actually the excess of oil dripping away, or you use just the plate with the kitchen paper, very easy. Then, of course, the oil, I already mentioned. Then, okay, we will be making butter, so that means you will need some a bowl where you put actually the flour and the water. Then you want another plate. I have it here with the cornstarch, maizena. I will explain soon why we need it. We need the ingredients, of course, for tempura. Today I'm making actually everything plant-based. So I have some vegetables, and also I had yesterday, we had the wild foraging workshop. So I have here some plants, so I will mention that, what we found. And we will need, of course, the ingredients, and also like a little bowls for the dipping sauce. I have already one here ready, and the other one is in the make. You will see it in a minute. And of course, then for the final serving and presenting of your dish, I have here like a little plate with little a paper where the tempura will be served also with some with the radishes and the ginger. So that's for at the end. Okay, let's start. Actually, of course, the point of tempura is to be served warm. So actually, you take it out of this hot, this warm oil. You dip it away, the excess of oil, and you serve it and you eat it. Also, it's a warming, and yeah, very satisfying dish. And this tempura you can also choose if you use it only as a dish on its own, or is it like on the top in your soup? Huh? Or like you can know from Japan, like tempura udon, tempura soba, or you serve it on the top of your grains, or like rice or any kind of grains. So that depends how you like to eat it. But first, also with this crispiness and to be served as hot as possible, you first start actually preparing all what you need. We did it already, you prepare the ingredients, and the first thing you start with is to make actually the dipping sauce. So let me, I made already here one. This one is done. And it's actually the dipping sauce which helps you, and or why are you serving it, is actually it's helping the body to digest the oil from the tempura. Even though you think that, oh my God, there is 1 liter of oil, you are not going to eat this 1 liter of oil. It's just a little bit, but still helping to digest. And this dip sauce is made of shoyu sauce, which is naturally fermented. And I used 2 spoons of the shoyu. Then I used 3 tablespoons of mirin. Mirin is actually sweet rice wine, cooking wine, and it's very good to use in the kitchen, in your soups, in the cooking, in the desserts, anywhere. So everywhere where you normally would use the sugar, then use a mirin. Yeah. So again, 2 tablespoons of shoyu, 3 tablespoons of mirin for the sweet taste. Then I used yuzu. I very much love this seasoning. It's actually like, it's a citrus-like, and it's from the family of orange and the lemon, and actually it can grow in the warm climate. So check wherever you come from, and also of course Ginat, she's based in Israel, and I know that it can be very warm there. So find the seeds, plant your yuzu tree on the balcony or in your garden, because it's possible. So this gets.
So I'll say that I have a source for yuzu. I have a source for yuzu here in Israel, if my Israeli friends want to know. Oh, very nice quality.
Yeah, you could. I'm sure you could find the seeds on the. Oh, you have. Oh, okay. Oh, now I understood.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, very good.
Yes.
Because we had also friends here in Netherlands who were growing their own. They have other friend in France. Then, of course, in Japan, and or otherwise in California, anywhere where is a warm climate. Yeah. So then comes 1 tablespoon of this yuzu, and I did 1 tablespoon just of the lemon juice. Yeah. So it's actually, the sauce is very nice, also aromatic, but it's actually sweet, salty, and sour. And this is a special aroma from the yuzu. So this is very nice. And another, actually, it's not a dipping sauce, but it's actually a dish that you serve it with a tempura. It's actually grated radish I took, but I know it's not always available. Voila, this is a daikon, white radish coming from the radish family. And or I just took this time the radishes. They give also very nice color. So I grate them, you see. So I said, okay, let's make grating 1 radish, make it fresh. And then what we will do, we just add a pinch of salt. Okay, this one with the meat. Pinch of salt. I use a sea salt. White sea salt comes actually from Portugal. And for this dish, what we will need to, or what is good is to sieve it. Of course, use the juice. You can just drink it if you like. Or also sometimes for the ladies, just before the menstruation, or when you have a, kind of you feel tied up, then just drink this juice. You can also lightly cook it, but that's another dish. That's again on home remedies. So I press gently the liquid out of it, and we will be then serving it later with the tempura and this one with the meat, and with the grated ginger. And of course, the ginger, it's also has a quite strong taste, so you don't need much of it. So, and I use fine grater.
And you've peeled it.
I did, yeah, I did. Very good, because I wanted to actually show you just very handy, maybe you know this trick, is just to take off the peel. This is organic ginger, but just to peel it, you see, you take a spoon and it goes very easy to clean it up. Yeah, so it's very, very simple, very quick. So I did peel the ginger. So this one we will need later on. So our dipping sauce, and actually the side dish also to be served, we have done. And now we can start, or which actually prepare as a second step the ingredients. And I want to make actually 4 types of tempura to show you. In the meantime, we will put actually the fire on. I will slowly already prepare, because in the meantime, yeah, can be heat it up. So back, so 4 types of tempura. I want to make with you the wild plant tempura. For this, I have here the stinging nettle. You just harvest, because sorry, it was harvested yesterday. You harvest only the tops, the last 4 leaves. Yeah. Then I have here a goat. What is, because I was looking it for the English name. Goat wheat. Yeah, this plant. Many people have it in their gardens, and it's actually like a wheat, but yeah, it's not a wheat. It's a plant you can eat, and it's a very nutritious. So this one I like to use, and then also now it's also a little bit cruel. Can anybody knows this one? It gets a white flower.
I don't know. Is it a dill?
No, it's not a dill. Even it looks similar, but it's a yarrow.
Yarrow? Did you say yarrow?
Yarrow. Mm-hmm. And
yes, we use it in my country for tea.
Yeah. So you make it for the teas. You make it the cream from it is very good for the skin. You can of course eat it, drink it, etc. Very nutritious, this one. So we will do this. That will be one type of tempura. Then another type of tempura is that, and let me, with this one, I don't have to do anything. It stays just as it is. I'm not cutting it. You take it, you dip it in the butter, you deep fry, done. Then another one which I'm making is the pumpkin. We just harvested them last week with my husband. A very nice vegetable farmer. So I chose this green pumpkin. So It's a funny because from the outside it's green, but of course inside is orange or yellow orange, and it's a very tasty and also very nutritious. So what I will do, I just maybe let me put it here. I will cut maybe like a 3 to 4 millimeter pieces. And you can leave them like this. There is this little point. I will still any hard parts, you cut it away. Then another type of tempura which we'll be using, it will be the nori. So I wanted to show you sea vegetable tempura. You may know nori from the sushi. And so this one is already roasted, but you don't have to have roasted nori. Unroasted is also fine. And I easily make 4 pieces. Which will be later on still folding, but you will see it. Okay, will be the nori tempura, and the last one will be the very simple combination of 3 colors tempura. I use the onion, a carrot, and a leek. So, and onion I use actually in order to have a kind of a straight, because we're going to kind of julienne. I cut off the part, but normally you use it, which keeps the whole onion together, yeah, by the roots. Huh? So I still need to do a little bit more. Then you just cut half, and then afterwards just half mince. So I will use 2 onions. But you would be amazed how many portions you can do just from 1 onion and 1 carrot. It's just a very simple, not expensive kind of dish and food you can make. And it's definitely a treat for well, of course, for yourself, but for your loved one, for your friends. And I don't know anybody who wouldn't love tempura. So it's really a rewarding dish when you cook. So we have the onions, and you see here I didn't cut it off. So you see what happens. It stays. Huh? So I help it with the hands, just break it into the strips. Is everything good visible? Is it fine? So, and the carrot I will be now cutting in matchsticks. So you let the carrot roll the way that it stays, and you cut thin slices. Let me use this longer parts. Oh. So then you place those slices like a domino. And then again, thin pieces. So you put them on the onions. And of course you can play. You can use sweet bell pepper for the beautiful color. You can use red cabbage. Anything. And of course I just choose here simple ingredients and simple vegetables that you can have, I think, at your home, and it's available everywhere. But you can go also for the deep frying shiitake mushrooms, very nice, delicious, or a lotus root, if you know it. It gives beautiful shades of tempura. Also, what is very nice because of its special aroma, it's shiso leaves, and the Latin name is perilla, and they are either bright green, they have a bright green color, or they are purple, and it's a leaves that are used by the pickling of umeboshis, making the umeboshi plums, or umeboshi vinegar, or umeboshi paste. And you see again, cut the thin strips.
Only the red one is used for making the coloring. The green one is not.
No, that's correct. That's correct. But I
And
meant
if anybody in Israel would like some with the roots, I'd be happy to pull out mine and see if it works by your garden.
yeah, it's actually the shiso leaf is 1 year plant, so that means. But you get one, it gets in a bloom, so you leave to collect the seeds, and you can plant it next year. So
Mine comes back. Mine comes
Okay.
back every year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you see, this is already kind of like 3 colors. And what you could definitely also do, but I did now the ginger by the dipping sauce, but you could also cut these matchsticks, the ginger, fresh ginger root is really delicious. Yeah, okay. So I have it ready for the 4 types. That means the wild plants, the nori, the pumpkin, and this one. And for each of them, I want to show you how you can actually upgrade the batter. So we start first with a simple, let me check first, maybe Kara can help me, how it's our oil. And it is actually the idea of it that either, of course, you have a thermometer, you measure, it's between 160 to 180 degrees Celsius. And otherwise, you use a dry chopsticks, a chopstick. And can you see the bubbles, how it's coming out? Can you see that? So now it's just like very gently coming up. So that means this oil still needs to be a little more heat up, because otherwise what happens when the oil is not hot enough, your tempura will come to the bottom and will sink there. Doesn't come up. But when your oil is too hot, that means again that your tempura will stay on the surface. And that means it will be, again, not deep fried. So
how high is your flame?
How high? You can have a look. You know, it's for every fire, for every stove is different. I put it now, of course, on the kind of middle flame, because I'm explaining in the meantime, and I don't want that the oil will get overheated. So now it's the middle. And also, I don't like to heat up the things like putting the fire on the full speed, you know, that it goes over the fire over the pan, etc. So middle one, but it's already kind of, you know, that it's already like 15 minutes I'm talking, so it's slightly and slowly heating up. Yeah, so it's middle flame now. But of course, it also depends on the, you know, on the thickness of your deep frying pan, because you can't make it, if your pan is not thick enough, you will heat the pan quickly, and it may happen that your oil start to smoke, but that you don't want, because that's not good for your health and for the digestion. So you be careful, but definitely what you shouldn't do, and that often happens during the cooking workshops, it's like people take a pan with oil, You know, they put it on the fire and leave it, leave it with a lid. So don't do it, because of course you don't have the control of how hot your oil is. So let's make the batter, because now we are ready to deep fry. I have here just a wheat flour. You can also choose, if you would like, for the non-gluten variation, the buckwheat flour. And that's it. And what I will be adding now, I need to go to the fridge, is a sparkling water, because that's the best. It is actually in the restaurant what is being used, or in the Japanese tempura restaurants, they use iced water, or then once the tempura batter is done, they use it to keep it in the bowl with the ice to keep it as cold as possible. And also because that makes your tempura crispy. And of course, when you use, because normally we don't use the sparkling water, but for the tempura is good. And otherwise you can use a beer, because that's also that you see the bubbles, and that will make the tempura more crispy. Now, sometimes you can see, so I didn't add the salt, nothing is in it, it's just a flour. Yeah. Sometimes you can put the baking powder, but I'm not using it. It's just, you don't need it. Yeah. Also, people sometimes use a whisk, but that's not necessary. And actually, the thing is that you shouldn't touch the batter, or you should touch the batter as less as possible, because otherwise you activate the gluten in the flour, and your tempura will not be crispy, crunchy, but it starts to be kind of one big piece of kind of lump. Huh? So what you do is that you are adding the water, and usually it is approximately like, if you would do half a cup of flour, then it's a half a cup of water. And as soon as you feel it's too thick, you stop immediately and you add some more water. And you slowly mix. And it is fine if some lumps will be in the butter, because then you know it's actually a sign that you not overmixed your batter. Now it's funny because you see the bubbles from the sparkling water. And okay, I will have one chopsticks for the butter and another one chopsticks, the cream one, to take the things out. And I start with this very simple butter. That means you saw it, just a flour, just the water, and you can see also the lumps in it, but it's fine. Doesn't matter. And this dough, or batter actually, is now a bit more thin. And why? Because you know this, the similar, it would be also with the cheese olive, or with another nice colored vegetables. You don't want to become a thick lump of it, and you want that still the color is being, that you see the color. So now, let me see. Let me check now still the oil again, because I already start to smell. And when I put the chopstick, it's already bubbling. So this is, Kai, can you have a look? Or can you help me so that everybody can see? Yeah, can you see? Now it's a bit more lively, these bubbles. So the temperature is approximately 160, 180 degrees. Okay. So I first start with this stinging nettle. I'm putting this butter away a little bit, and when I put it in, can you have a look again? It's I'm gently shaking it with it in order to let the leaves open. That's better. You see, so it comes in. And It's good, you know, because you work with a hot oil, huh? Like no children around, no dogs and pets, etc. Huh? Because you have to be alert. Yeah.
And
then-
can you repeat what kind of oil?
Okay, I used, just a moment, I will explain in a minute. With these chopsticks, I feel already that it starts getting crispy. And also what you start is you see those bubbles going around the vegetable. And those bubbles actually means that the water which is in the vegetables is kind of cooked. Huh? So I turn it, I feel it, so that it's crispy. And it's also the next what you watch is the color of the butter, so it doesn't become brown. This is already, you may hear, crispy, and I will be putting it, let me see, directly here on this tray just to rest. Yeah, so I'll let the oil drop away. So, yeah. Then the next what I do is to clean up the oil, what I was mentioning, from these tempura flakes. Yeah. You see the little pieces of this batter, and so gently, and then putting it away. So cleaning your oil, keeping it well. Then the next one I take is the goat wheat. So in Dutch, the name is zevenblad, means like 7 leaves, because it has 7 leaves. See? Oh, making it open. So again, shaking it a little bit so that it gets open. Yeah. And you see, because this vegetable is very thin, very fragile, very gentle, so it goes very quick. You see? Oh, I open it. I turn it, and I feel its crispiness. It's like thick, thick, thick. When you touch it, thick, thick, thick. So still a little bit. So, and I'm watching again these bubbles going. Can you see it well, everybody? Yeah. So this is crispy again. Oh, you see how beautiful it is. This one, it's, you can see now, like this is bit darker. This was the first nettle I put it in, and then the oil was a little bit too hot for this very gentle vegetable, very thin. So this is nicer. You see the light color. Yeah. And again, the same routine. Clean up the tempura flakes, taking it out, because that way you can use oil, you take care for your oil, and you can use it often. So taking it out. Okay. Now this one. So this is this yarrow. And actually from this plant is also the leaves are edible, the flowers, and then also the seeds. They have a little, like a gentle, a chili taste. And of course, in the spring, the leaves are smaller, shorter. Now they are really big, but I like them very much. It's a very wonderful plant. It's also special taste, quite outstanding. So, see, and also like being next to the fire, so not that this butter goes everywhere and it's kind of messy. No, so you work quietly. Okay, this one, the first one, it's already crispy. So I'm turning it. Oh, and you can also, of course, do like a seafood tempura, or still when we talk about the plant-based mochi. Huh? Do you know mochi? Like those little cakes made of the sweet rice flour, or whole sweet rice, which is cooked and then pounded. And it's actually a traditional dish that in Japan they use it for the New Year. And also, funny enough, it's the if you saw the movie of Tampopo, then there's all the gentleman who goes to the Japanese restaurant and he shouldn't be eating any mochi or anything, but he does. And then he's choking himself. And then what they do, they use a vacuum cleaner to suck the mochi. It's very funny, but nevertheless, seriously, it's also kind of a cause number one of the deaths in Japan. By the New Year, the people choke from eating mochi. So be aware.
I don't understand. How do people choke on mochi?
Now, because the mochi is kind of quite sticky.
Yes.
When you eat it. So if you eat it too quick, then it gets stuck. Okay, you see this one? This is beautiful. It's a really art of tempura. So
Did you say they make tempura from mochi?
you can also make it in that way. It's not then tempura. You are not coating it in the batter. You actually just cut the mochi, those little cakes, in the little pieces of, or the bigger pieces, whatever you like, and you deep fry them. So they are actually deep fried mochi only. So thank you for correcting me. And it's very nice to put it in the soup. Again, very nourishing and very warming also, and really delicious.
Just want to share that those bits that you're taking out of the oil, I share a flat with a Japanese girl. She buys them in a bag and uses them for cooking.
Yeah, I know. You can use it because this is actually, with the older or earlier times, people use this just this deep fried flour of flakes, or those drops, like a very nice enrichment for the soups and for the meals. So you can eat it. Yeah, like it's not a burnt. It's a very nice color, so you can eat it. Sure. Okay. So this is the wild tempura. Then the next is what I will do. Let me take this away. I wrote it down. Okay, the pumpkin. So what we will do is that now we will need this maizena. And as I learned, wet things don't how to say, glue or stick to the wet things. Dry thing doesn't stick to the dry. So what you need to have, one it's wet, which is this one, and one is dry. So the vegetable, either you can dry it with the kitchen paper, or we will dip it shortly just in the either in the very fine flour or in the cornstarch. Yeah, but before, so I will be now upgrading my batter. Yeah, so for this pumpkin tempura, I name it always like polka dot, meaning with those dots, is that I use a black sesame seed. They're unroasted. A bit, and I still little, just gently mix it, so not much. Okay, then, ta-da! You see, So because this one is quite big pieces, so let me see. You see, so it comes on the bottom and then it comes on the top to swim. Could you see it? Let me do those smaller pieces. So I put it on. Then of course you see it. It's kind of thick, so you gently. So again, you let a little bit drip of the butter, and hop. And then now be careful so they don't stick to each other. Yeah, okay, good. And we do one more. So this one we will keep. So this starch is coating the vegetable and taking actually away the second of the moisture or the humidity, whatever you say, and that makes them, you will see soon on the other one when we take this tempura out. Again, just that it doesn't stick to each other. Keep the three there. You see that it's very fluffy. Oh. I'm turning this one. I can a little bit, because I see it's kind of slower, the bubbles. I can a little bit, I put the flame just a little bit higher. And you see, in the meantime, I can just gently take those flakes again out of the oil. But like someone had this comment, also eating these little flakes, sure you can, but don't store them because this oil, of course, it becomes old. So if you make it, then eat them, either with the same dish or maybe keep it for the next morning because then it's nice, crispy. Okay, let me do this last piece. Okay. Well, and you see it comes in the middle and then it comes out. Oops. Yeah. So I'm trying to keep them separately. And of course, what you need to take care by cutting this pumpkin is that more, thicker you make it, longer time it takes to cook. So it shouldn't be too thick. So this pumpkin is still deep frying. So what I do in the meantime, I will upgrade my batter for the next, the tempura, just the nori, and then we have the last one is that I will be adding still some brown sesame seeds.
What is this?
Brown sesame seeds.
Okay.
Yeah, so just to make it a bit more rich. And I will do some chili pepper. It's the name, this one, it's a Nanami Togarashi, and it's actually a pepper which is also with the shichimi pepper and some also black sesame seeds. And I will also do a little bit of lemon zest. So let me check here. Yeah. So this is very nice, crispy. Oh. You see how airy it is and bubbly? That's how it should be. And of course, if I would be keeping this tempura butter in the bowl with the ice, it would be even better. Huh? more sparkling. So, okay, this one still needs to go a little bit. Okay, so I will add gently some lemon zest. And then gently mixing it. You see, not too crazy. This is fine. And then what I will do, you take this 1/4 of the nori, I fold it half, and I will now dip it, half of it, in tempura. So, oops. So, and again, have a look how that they don't stick to each other. You see that sometimes, because of course you are folding it, yeah, okay, that it doesn't open. And again, I can put a little bit the fire higher. So folding it out, dipping it, and not breaking it as I did, but it's okay. So let me take this one out. So you can hear how crispy it is. Okay. Oops, you see here they stuck a little bit to each other, but it's okay. We turn them. Okay. Now, so they still need to go a little bit. And now this last butter, last but not least, what I do, I will gently, I will take a little bit out because it's quite some vegetable. I will take a part out. Carrots. So I will gently now add a little bit of maizena. You see, just a little bit. And I take
What is maizena?
Sorry, the cornstarch.
Cornstarch. Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's check the tempura again. Oh, I'm turning it one more time. So here is the onion, carrot, but you can also go for the sweet potato if you like. You can do parsley root, pastinac, is that also parsley, sorry. You can put there. You see, so that we let the vegetable coat a little bit with this cornstarch. So again, that it sucks the humidity. I'm taking now this one out of the oil. See, so just drip away. Oh.
That's nice.
It's beautiful, huh? And it's always nice to do like at least, make at least 3 kinds, because you see the colors like darker, yellow, orange, the green, huh? Because that we not eat only with with our food, I mean with our mouths, but also with the eyes. Huh? So, okay, I clean up now again the oil, and you see that from this last part, of course, more smaller parts staying in the dough, but it's okay. So we just take it out. Okay, and now with this kind of a tempura, with these matchsticks, what we will do, we will actually create kind of little nests. Huh? So it's not like I'm taking it and I'm dipping it in it. No, we do it other way around. It's that we are adding the butter, sorry, not butter. Sorry for my English. We are adding the butter. I think I can. Let's see. We have to see it how it. If I need to add there some. I'm adding the batter in it. Let it cold. Yeah. Okay. A little bit more, otherwise it's a bit dry. Actually, yeah. Now, well done. You use everything. So no leftovers. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And we now like take. That's why either you do it with your hands. That's also fine. But I like to keep that it's a bit more clean. And then you use the chopsticks, or you use this this one. Huh? Very handy. And you kind of make a very nice nest. Not too big. Huh? And yeah, or hops. Huh? You see, comes in and out. And I see it's a little bit too hot now, huh? Because the oil was empty. I mean, not with the vegetables. Huh? And I think I can put there like 3 nests. Oh, yep. You see, it goes quick. Huh? Like, for example, in the big restaurants, or when we were cooking on the summer conference, you see the color, it's a bit too hot, the oil. Huh? It becomes too quick dark. So you have to adjust. Huh? So on the summer conference, when you cook, for example, for 300 people, so you don't make such a portion. So you make a bigger portions, and then you cut them half, for example, or in quarters. Huh? So it's just depending what is the audience you are cooking for. Okay, yeah. But you see, but it's good. I'm happy. You can also see it like this color is getting too brown. So that means the oil is a bit hotter. So it should be less hot. Yeah, like this one is already okay. Oh. So I'm taking this one out. Oh. So there is another one coming up. And one more. So it's a, no, okay. We bit over time, but we are done almost. So, okay. Let me, I just now, so what I do, I switch off the fire. Well, imagine I'm done with the tempura. And I'm now taking this bit finer sieve, which the smaller, can you kindly have a look? Help everybody see, so that you see, this is why you need this fine sieve, because you get out this, little parts and crumbles actually from the tempura. And that way you clean up your oil well. So now you see that's actually all clean up, no parts stayed. Huh? And now we cool it down, or let it cool down. and then we cover with the lid and we keep it in the kitchen, so ready for the next use. So let me, that's the last part, because of course it should be served, or should be served directly. And let me clean up here a little bit the mess. So, okay, so we take this, we take this plate, and now I will try to, now I have to somehow, let's make it a bit nicer. So for example, like 2 pieces of tempura, I mean the pumpkin, then nice 2 of nori, and then we have this nest. I take the most light one, and then this beautiful green part. Yeah, maybe this one, so that you can, the leaves, and the nettle. Okay, and then let me see. So that's usually how we get it served in the restaurant. So then it's a kind of a little pyramid, how you say? Yeah, you say it that way. And with the ginger. And of course, then we have the sauce. So let me now, bon appetit. So you can take the tempura, you dip it in the sauce, and do you hear the sound? This crunch, that's about it. So nice. And you take a little bit of the daikon, and that's it. So now I can come back to your question of the which oil I'm using. So I didn't forget. It's, let me see, where did I put it? Oh, it was already cleaned up in the meantime. So I took, you see for example, from the supermarket, you can usually find the sunflower oil. Organic, choose for the organic quality. And otherwise, in the natural food shops, you find like a deep frying oil, which is also sunflower oil, but he's a bit, how can I say, explain it, a bit desodorized, so there is not so much aromatic from the sunflower. So that's one type. And the other one, which is very good, is the rice germ oil to use for deep frying, and otherwise the grape seed oil. So this one are the most easy to work with, most easy digestible, etc. And what is definitely not good oil, so it's good to mention, is the olive oil for deep frying. So I'm talking about the deep frying, not about the normal consumption. And of course the coconut oil, because they are very saturated, very thick. So that means you can't heat them up enough for tempura. So this is it. Do we have time for any 3 questions if needed?
I think not. I think I have time just to thank you. And I really appreciate you. Are so well prepared, and you're so peaceful in the kitchen and calm, and it's just a pleasure. A pleasure.
Okay. So really, thank you very much, Kinat. It was very lovely to share. And I think the next speaker is Danka. So she's coming from Slovak Republic. I come from Czech Republic. So we're actually neighbors. So have fun and enjoy. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
All right then.